Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight to the 2014 The Paw Municipal Election Open Forum, brought to you by the Opasquia Times. My name is Mark Anders. I'd like to thank each and every one of you and the candidates that are able to attend this evening. And unfortunately, there are a couple of councillor candidates, Marianne Federley and Ken Gerba, who are unable to attend due to prior work-related commitments. They've provided us with a prepared statement which will be read on their behalf shortly. Before we get started, I'd like to ask that each of you turn off all of your cell phones for the duration of tonight's forum. And also a quick thanks to those who have volunteered their time, equipment, and staff to this evening event. I'd like to thank Brian Campbell, our sound and audio guy. Also thank you to John Morton from Sound Innovations for providing additional audio equipment. Thank you to Art Barbo's Security Service for providing us with security for tonight's event, and a huge thanks to Kelsey School Division for providing us this venue tonight free of charge so that we can have the opportunity to hear the candidates speak. This question was submitted to the newspaper. The question relates to the ethicality of the water fluoridation. Health Canada defines a drug as anything used to treat, mitigate, or prevent a disease, and cavities are considered a disease. So by Health Canada's definition, fluoridating the drinking water is the equivalent of medicating it with a drug. This question is addressed to all the candidates. In your personal opinion, is using the water as a vehicle to deliver medication to the masses, regardless of whether they consent to it or not, ethical? We'll start with Andrew Forward, we'll go through the councillors, and then we'll go with Jim Scott and to Terry.
Where's Kyle? There he is. Kyle and I have had some conversations about fluoridation, and I have small kids and I know a lot about water treatment, and I don't disagree with Kyle's Fluoride Aware the PAW campaign. We fluoridate our water. We do it because the Canadian Dental Association and Health Canada recommend that we do so. It is not a requirement under regulation. Our system exists, it's set up to handle that, and at this point I think if it can be done without costing taxpayers money to actually decommission the fluoridation system in the water treatment plant, because a water treatment plant is quite complex these days, lots of computers, lots of programming. If that can be done and not cost taxpayers money, then I'd be okay with removing fluoridation from our water supply.
Thank you. It's interesting that fluoridation is something that's been having a great part of my lifetime. It was done based on old science, good science in the day. Now the new science says, well, maybe that isn't the best idea, and maybe we're just pushing things at people we shouldn't be. The issue becomes is how is the council, with regard to that, going to get the information, get the data we need to know to make an informed decision? We can't just say, well, I think today that we should do this. So we have to go out, find out where the sources are, do that. If it's going to be something we want to change, then we have to get it to a committee that's going to do that work. Committees do the heavy lifting, and council just makes decisions based on good information. So if we can get that, we can take a serious look at it and make a decision in the future. But right today, I can't say one way or the other what we want to do. It's going to be up to council.
I will say that I am not in favor of putting fluoride in the water, but I understand where Andrew's coming from with, budgetary issues and stuff like that. I understand that there is a cost associated with fluoride, though, so I would think that we would take the cost associated with fluoride, figure out how much it's going to take to decommission the fluoride machine, and sorry, I didn't remember what the technical thing was called. So people knew what I meant when I said fluoride machine, though. But so let's outweigh the, weigh out the pros and cons. So for example, I believe the budget line was $15,000 to fluoride the water for the year. So I mean, if it's going to cost $15,000 to decommission the machine, let's decommission the machine, take out the fluoride, and then next year we can use the $15,000 for something else, like maybe the water for the spray park.
Yeah, I think we need to look at the cost benefits of removing it. I'm certainly not an expert in fluoridation, but it's something also that the community should be engaged in, how they feel as far as the subject. Do they want it removed or not? because it seems to be the trend across North America where they're removing fluoride from their water systems, and if it's a benefit to us community cost-wise, then it's certainly something we should look at.
There's a reason it says on your toothpaste not to swallow the toothpaste. Fluoride isn't actually good for you, and I agree that we should probably be removing it from our water. But definitely, I think there's some public consultation that would have to happen, get everybody to sit down and see how everybody feels about it. But my personal belief is that we don't need it in our water, and we are just fine without it. So.
Okay, I agree on everything everybody says here. And I am reading the article. I am. So right now, I can't make an opinion one way or the other. As I said, research, and see what happens. Everybody has to agree on it. Like if the town doesn't want it, get it out. Okay.
Jim Scott.
Okay, so I now know more about fluoridation than I ever thought I ever would. You know, I've drank fluoridated water all my life. And so recently, about 6 or 7 months ago, posters started showing up on campus about fluoride in the water. And I thought that was kind of political, so that's part of my job, so I took them down. And then I go back the next day and the posters are up. And I go, well, that's odd. I'm going to take them down. And then sooner or later, I got to meet him, and he got to meet me, and we had a little discussion about fluoride. And his posters were fine to stay up after that. I did a lot of research on it. His question, though, is it ethical to medicate a community through their water supply system? No, that's not very ethical at all. That's a really nasty, terrible thing to do. But I don't know where I honestly stand on fluoridation because, like I say, it's been something I've been involved with all of my life. I think for every report that says, gee, this is really bad, there's a report that says, gee, this is really good. So I'm not sure where I stand on it. I know if we can save $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a year, I don't want fluoride.
Can I say ditto? Is that possible? Kyle, you were this close. I can tell you during the discussions you were this close. And as Jim said, it was funny because every time we got a report that said it's bad, we got another one from a doctor that said it's good. And then we got another one from a doctor that said it's bad, and we got another one that said it was good. And I can tell you, you were this close. I am concerned with the health of the community. I am concerned that we have a problem with dental health in this community. And is it helping? I'm not sure. But all I can say is keep at it, and if we can find out that those scales will, go in your favor, then there's no problem. Go in your favor. But we do have to look at the health of the community as well.
Where would we be without medical science? My mother was an RN, and when polio was sweeping the prairies, she was the first one. I was the first in line to get her shot. They've got cures now for polio, for measles, and that. In 1918, my grandfather lost his wife, and she was expecting a son. So this is like Ebola now. And right now, they've found a cure for Ebola in Winnipeg. One American survived, the other one died yesterday. So I'm in favor of medical science. Fluoride, chloridation works. I'm in favor of it.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Just a reminder, Blake's Taxi is offering free rides to the advanced polling station October 15th and 16th. Also a reminder to check out your polling station map, which will be, it's on the walls on both sides of the lecture hall. So on your way out the door, make sure that you take a look to see where your polling station is. And also, quickly before we take off, on your way at the front door, there is a collection plate. If you have it in your heart, please do make a contribution to Mary Duncan School. Thank you and good night.